when it was reported today in multiple places that J.C. Jackson was benched for that game on Sunday because he showed up to the team hotel late on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And again, even in home games, they stay in a team hotel on Saturday night. Just sort of a thing. The Pats aren't the only team that does it. I'd say probably most do it.
They sequester the jury, so to speak.
Exactly. Good point. Good point. In fact, it is silly because I know a lot of guys wake up in the team hotel Sunday morning and then go home before the game. So it's not even like they bus from the hotel to the stadium. They go home and have breakfast and pet the dog and play with the kids and then go to the stadium. But either way, so it was reported today that J.C. Jackson missed the team meeting Saturday night at the team hotel. Breer says Jackson was late to the team hotel Saturday, which is why he was benched on Sunday. And then it was subsequently reported today by the NFL Network, Ian Rappaport, Mike Garafolo, that J.C. Jackson is not expected to travel with the team to Germany for their game against the Colts. With questions about his reliability, the decision was made to have him stay home, get through the bye, and return in a better place. Yet, when the secondary coaches asked about it yesterday, he says that's a false narrative, you focusing on why J.C. Jackson sat. It was really about how well Shaun Wade was playing. Mazz, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Shaun Wade benched in like the second quarter? He didn't play the rest of the game, something like that?
Yes, in fact, I was just looking it up. He played 13 snaps in the game. So I guess my question would be, apparently whatever reward he earned only lasted for about 15 minutes.
Your thoughts?
Well, so again, this is, and this is to me almost independent of like the whole other thing. And when I say the other thing, I mean, he wants to make it about Wade. Okay, well then why didn't he play after the first quarter? What, you just started him to be nice? That's the idea? It's just such nonsense. It's complete. And then again, we obviously found out subsequent to that these two guys missed curfew or, missed being on time. And as a result, they benched him for the early part of the game.
Did you hear Jack Jones was lumped in with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, he was.
Mike Reese has since reported that Jack Jones also missed curfew.
Yeah,
the two of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed it.
Yeah, the two of them.
But no. That's a false narrative, guys.
No.
It's about what Shaun Wade did right. So I'm sorry, Mazz. Go ahead.
No. So again, so you're trying to feed us this bull crap that is just it's a complete myth. It's a manipulation, or you think people aren't going to find out? Is that what it is?
Right. And why and to what end? Like so this is one thing. And it's small. This is small. This is down the list. So I'm not telling you this is super important, but this has happened, so I'm giving it to you. It represents the rot down there. Why spend any time with this game about lying about why you made a certain roster move? I mean, I do get you want to protect a player. I mean, okay. I mean, I don't think it's working, meaning I don't think that's gotten you buy-in in your locker room or a good culture or anything like it, but okay, you don't want to throw your player under the bus publicly. Is there a way to do it without being duplicitous and playing this game? It's just a waste of everybody's time. Like, why do they do that?
Because that's the way Bill's always done it. Like, he just refuses to change. It's just another area that you can look at and say, like, why are you still doing this? This doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so that's a small thing. And I admit it's a small thing, but there it is. The bigger thing is, I heard Beetle and Zoe talking about this. Why is J.C. Jackson still here? Why is he here in the first place? Why is Jack Jones still? Why are these guys still here? You suck. They obviously have problems as professionals or adults or whatever. And I've heard, some stuff about J.C. Jackson. He's got some issues. And obviously I'd say Jack Jones has some issues because the man thought it was okay to bring loaded guns through the airport.
Found not guilty. How dare you?
Sorry, counselor. So why are these guys here? And they asked the question. I'm talking to my radio. I'm like, why do you think they're here, guys?
Affordable.
Cheap.
J.C. Jackson is being paid by somebody else, and Jack Jones is on a really cheap rookie contract. Answer your own question. Why are they here? Because they have affordable contracts. That's why they're still here. And that, to me, is a much bigger thing. That has to come to an end. That has to stop. This penny pinching And you can point to Bill, you can point to anyone else. Put it wherever you want. It's the organization that continues to do this. And they continue to skimp on quality because they're obsessed with the cost and the price and the value. And you've lowered yourself in the process. You have coaches here that are not worthy, but they're here. You have coaches and front office people who are unworthy, but they're here because they're cheap or free or someone else is paying their salary. You have coaches here who are here not because they're worthy, but because they're cheap or being paid by somebody else. You have players who are here who are unworthy, but they're here because they're cheap or being paid by somebody else. J.C. Jackson is the most recent example. The Chargers are paying his salary. So he's here and he remains here. And that is much more important than the first thing I'm talking about. First thing I'm talking about is just silly waste of all of our time media games. Yanking or wanky at the podium. Like, okay. I mean, it's annoying. I think it's a waste of your time. This one, more important. I think it's chipped away at the very foundation of what you are. The quality of your organization. Well, is it any surprise? Because you've skimped on the cost of it. And here it is. Why? You ask, why is J.C. Jackson and Jack Jones still here? Answer your own question. They're free.
As you started to go through that again, right? Like, you know what occurred to me? They've become what the Bengals used to be. Like, the Bengals used to just pick up all these guys who were kind of bums and who were cheap.
Absolutely, Mazz.
Right? And some of them were decent players, but their stock had gone down for an assortment of reasons, or they slipped in the draft because there were character issues, like the linebacker, Vontaze Burfict. Remember him?
You bet.
Like, this is the kind of crap the Bengals did. And they sucked every year. There was always something that undermined them because it's really kind of a lousy way to build an organization. You're building your whole model around people with character flaws just because they are cheap. Jack Jones, I meant to put him in my 3 down this week and I forgot. Because aside from the fact that he missed the first quarter, when he was on the field, he sucked. And I said to myself at one point, why is this guy still here?
Because he represents value to them. I mean, monetary value, contractual value.
It's just a horrible way to build a team.
And I'll just give you, again, one smaller thing. And I don't know Mike Pellegrino from Adam, from a bottle of sparkling Pellegrino that I get at dinner.
Yes, San Pellegrino.
Okay? I don't know him from anything. I don't mean to disparage the man. I don't, even though it sounds like I'm going to. But again, I just think it speaks to the rot that's gone on here. Do you know Mike Pellegrino's background? You know who he is and how he got here?
Nope.
Let me guess, Rutgers or some.
Let's just go right. Well, you're close, Maury. If I gave you another guess, you'd get it.
South Dakota Mines and Technology.
Wikipedia page. Mike Pellegrino is a former professional
lacrosse
player.
Lacrosse player.
Of course.
Pellegrino joined the Patriots as an intern in 2015. He would serve as a coaching assistant for 4 seasons before being promoted to cornerbacks coach in 2019. Pellegrino was a star on the John Hopkins lacrosse team, where he was selected as captain for 2 years. He was also selected as an All-American twice. In the 2015 Major League Lacrosse draft, Pellegrino was drafted by the New York Lizards. That's an unfortunate name. In the second round, where he would play for a year thereafter, he joined the Boston Cannons for his second season. So, because Bill's got a hard-on for lacrosse players, they probably crossed paths with the Boston Cannons, and Pellegrino sucked up to Bill, and Bill gave him an internship, and the next thing you know, he's the cornerback coach, and he might be good. Again, I don't know. But there's just not many organizations that, what are we talking about here? We're talking about 2 cornerbacks who shouldn't be here. They just shouldn't be here. They're just not
serious.
Yeah, they're just not serious professionals. They shouldn't meet the standard that you allegedly stand for. But they're here because they're cheap, and they're being coached by a guy that wouldn't have gotten a job on any other team, and the only reason he got the job is because he plays the side hobby sport that your head coach likes. And so Bill gives him a sniff, and he might be good. I don't know. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying the background. That's an interesting background to become an NFL cornerback coach. You play for the Lizards in the MLL, and then 4 years later, you're coaching corners. I don't know. That feels like that only happens here, but again, correct me if I'm wrong.
They couldn't come up with a better name than Lizards?
That's what I said. I think Cannons is a little better. Maybe, I don't know if they're allowed to be, it's a little politically incorrect, the Cannons, but I don't know. Better than lizards. Either way, he went from the lizards to coaching the corners.
Shouldn't you have a football background?
A couple of whom,
I would think so.
A couple of whom who are here just because, at least one, because someone else is paying his salary. Like, all this stuff really has to end if they want to get back. It has to end. And so that's on ownership too. Not only have they've allowed it to happen, but they're in charge of the whole thing, and the finances are their purview as well. And it's just that whole thing has really caused a steep decline in the quality of the organization. And it's just, you can just sort of wrap it up in one bow in this one little story.